please join me in welcoming to the stage the next President of the United States, John Edwards.
I have to say first, only in New Hampshire would somebody stand up in the audience and ask the band a question. I'm impressed. I'm very, very impressed. Thank you to Jackson, to Bonnie, to Hutch, to Dave, and to Peter for being here. Thank you all so much. You know, together we have so much work to do for America, including, by the way, making certain we don't build any more nuclear power plants. But I had this experience a couple of weeks ago where I went with my parents. I bet some of you have been through this. With my parents to the house that they took me home to when I was born. And it brought back all these memories, not from when I was born, but from later. And it's a little two-room house in a mill village in South Carolina. And my grandparents lived right up the street. My grandmother helped raise me. I loved her dearly. And I still remember going to her house because she took care of us a lot when my parents were both working. And going to her house and seeing her, having her cook for us, her with her apron on. And she'd leave and walk with her apron on to the mill, work her shift, come back, and start the same routine again. My grandfather, who was partially paralyzed, he also worked in the mill, and he'd make his way over to the mill. He'd just have to sort of drag his leg along to get there. But he would go over, usually work the graveyard shift, and he would work from midnight till in the morning, and we'd be there for breakfast. We'd all have breakfast together when he came home in the morning. In so many ways, my own father followed in their footsteps, because for 36 years he went into that mill 5, 6, 7 days a week, 8, 10, sometimes 12 hours a day, hard, tedious, difficult work. And the question is, why did they do it? Why did my grandparents do it? Why did my parents do it? Why did your parents do it? Why did your grandparents do it? Why did they work and sacrifice, willing to do virtually anything for you? Why? They did it so that their children could have a better life. And they did it because they wanted to leave America better than they found it. And that is the great test for us that we carry with us every single day. And that is to leave this country that we love to our soul better than we found it. And to make absolutely certain that our children end up with a better life than we've had. But to do that, it's time for a little truth-telling. Because there are obstacles in the way. And those obstacles include drug companies, insurance companies, oil companies, power companies, their lobbyists, those who have had so much influence over what's happening. Corporate power, corporate greed that stands in the way of being able to do what America needs, what America deserves. That stands in the way of the promise of America for your children. That's simple. And you look at what they've done. They have infiltrated everything that happens. Literally everything. I mean, why don't we have universal health care? There's a very simple answer to that. Drug companies, insurance companies, and their lobbyists. Why do we have this mess of a Medicare prescription drug law? Because the drug company lobbyists literally wrote the thing. I was there. I know where it came from. Why have we not addressed in an aggressive way the crisis, and it is a crisis, of global warming in America? The reason is because of oil companies, gas companies, power companies. Why do we have a trade policy that costs NAFTA, CAFTA, etc., that costs America millions of jobs, pads the profits of big multinational corporations, allows companies to pick up, leave here, go somewhere else, take their jobs away, and in some cases hire children to do their work? Why do we have a bunch of paid mercenaries rolling around in Iraq, working for Blackwater and companies like Blackwater, making 10 times what our men and women in uniform are making? Why do we have billion-dollar, no-bid contracts for Halliburton, Dick Cheney's old company? I mean, this list, tax cuts, tax breaks for companies that are leaving America and taking jobs overseas. This is insanity. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. And nothing will change until we're willing to take these people on. Until we say to them, we're not going to tolerate this anymore. You know, this country doesn't just belong to you. It belongs to all of us. And the good news is, the Founding Fathers understood it. They knew that times like this would come. And when they came, they counted on you. They put the sovereign power in your hands. And it's the easiest thing in the world to do, to turn your head. I've done it. I'm as guilty as anybody. It is easy, and here's why. Because you think to yourself, there's nothing we can do about this. They got too much money. They got too much influence. They have too much power. No, they don't. Because the truth is, the real power in this country is in places just like this, with you. We can change this thing. We can do this together. But we're going to have to be willing